welcome to ATN. I'm your host, Angelie Sood, and today in the studio we have a very special guest with us. She's a singer-songwriter all the way from Montreal, and she's very, very talented. She has been the headlining act at Ottawa's very first South Asian Festival, and she's done many other events, but I'll let her tell you a little more about that. Welcome to the show. I'm sitting with Prita Chhabra, and very excited to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so first thing I want to talk to you about is the fact that you didn't always know you wanted to do this with your life. You didn't always know you were going to go and be a singer-songwriter. So what did you have in mind in the beginning?
Well, I always liked singing and writing. I was always writing poetry, and I always wanted to be a singer. But whether I was going to pursue it was a whole other story, because society and my parents were not very supportive of that plan. So I actually did a degree in psychology. And when I got my diploma, when I crossed the stage and got the diploma, I realized that I was on the wrong stage. And I looked around, everyone was so proud to be there, and I wasn't proud at all. I wasn't happy with my life, and I said, you know what, I really have to do what makes me happy, and I've always wanted to be a singer, so I'm going to go for that. So that's how it all happened.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about your journey. From that moment, I guess that was your turning point?
Yeah.
So you realized you had to do this, you had to pursue it. So how did you go about doing that?
Well, in the past, I would always be writing songs here and there. I never really took it that seriously, never really finished any of them. So after that, it's really quick, because I graduated in the spring, and then I auditioned for music school, and I got in. So that fall, I started in music school, and I went to music school for 3 semesters. And while doing that, I happened to find a producer, and we started working on this EP. And the ball started rolling really fast. Even in that first October, I was on CTV for National Canada, singing for the Telethon on the Stars, and it just started going right away. It was like, I think when you follow the right path, things just naturally happen. So.
No, you're right. Well, it's been happening for you for quite a while, right? Since you were a little girl.
Yeah.
So tell us about some of your earlier experiences with singing. When did you first realize you had a gift you could sing?
I think in grade 2 I heard Bette Midler sing, so she's my first musical inspiration, and I wanted to be her. And I went right away and I joined the choir, and I made all my friends join the choir. So even in schools I was always singing in the choirs and stuff, and I loved it. Even if it was choir during lunchtime, I'd miss my whole lunch just to go and sing. And it was Bette Midler was my first person that inspired me to sing, and I remember just singing her stuff all the time. My parents bought me her tapes. And I had a little Walkman, and I'd go to school and listen to her tapes all the time, and everyone would make fun of me and say, you know, what are you listening to? And I'd say, oh, Bette Midler. And they're like, ew, my parents listen to her. Like, what are you doing? And then from then, my influences spread out. Then I really liked Ace of Base, and then I got into rock, and I really liked Our Lady Peace. And then it went into more of a hip-hop kind of thing, and I really like Beyonce. I really admire her. I really like Robin Thicke. Dave Matthews Band is one of my favorite bands. I love 9 Inch Nails as well. Like, there's so many different things, so.
So how would you describe your personal musical style? Then you have so many different influences. So what is Prita music?
Prita music is a fusion. It's a fusion of all sorts of things, but I think it's mostly pop music. It's energetic and it's inspiring. And that's what I try to do with my music. I try to inspire other people. And my motto is to move people, whether emotionally or physically. I want people to be moved, so.
Okay, so whether they're dancing or
crying.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so either way, it's all good.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about your musical education then. Right now you're pursuing it. What else have you done?
I've also, in high school, I was playing the violin, so I can do a little bit of that. Not like the best or anything, but I think that's I think that's how I got my ears trained so well, because there's no place to put your fingers to know where the notes are. You have to just get your ears trained to that. And I'm also doing some Indian classical singing lessons as well in Montreal. Not anything professional yet, but working at it. So.
Okay, so what do you think is the main difference between Indian classical and then your English pop singing?
I don't know. I keep trying to figure out what the difference is, and some people say, oh, you're not an urban artist, you're a pop artist, and you're not an Indian artist, you know, you're this kind of artist. And I'm trying to understand what the difference is, because I'm thinking maybe I'll learn what the difference is, but to me, when I'm singing, I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm expressing myself in the exact same way. Maybe there's different techniques when you're singing. Like if I were to sing opera or something, the back of my throat would be more open, whereas pop music is more with the front of your mouth and stuff like that. But to me, it's still the same person. It's still coming from the same place. So when people try to put me in a box or a category where I don't understand, so I don't really know that.
So you're still trying to figure it out, if there even is a difference at all, right?
Yeah, I think music is music. It's a language that speaks about things that you can't put into words. It's emotions, it's sound, and you know, the distance between each note is a language in itself. So how can I say that in Indian music it's different and in Western music it's different? It's all doing the same thing to me.
Okay, it's a very universal language.
Yes.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about your album. It's called Spread the Word, and this is a very beautiful picture here of you. So to walk me through it, how did you get from wanting to be a singer to getting your first album out?
Part of it had to do with when I came to that point, I said I have to sing. So I went back and looked at all the things that I'd written, and I said, which, you know, verses or choruses did I really like? I started reading a lot of songwriting books. I went to the Berklee School of Music in Boston, and I took a seminar there on songwriting. And when I was living in Florida, before I got my degree, I heard this song, and it was a Nelly Furtado remix, and it was a remix by Josh. And I always said, one day I'm going to work with them. One day, you know, one day. And then I actually met them in Montreal, and I didn't know that they were from Montreal. I didn't know anything. I thought maybe Josh was a person. I didn't know it was a group. And when I met them, and they were a really big help, and they really motivated me, and I realized I have to really up my game and really start taking this seriously. So with their help, I went back to all my songs, started writing again, redoing everything, taking lessons again, doing music school, and I just started writing my songs, and they were just there. Sometimes, like The Dark Corner is one of the songs on the album. It came to me at a moment where I was really perplexed, like, am I meant to do this or not? Like, I haven't been doing this my whole life. Maybe I just want to be a singer, and I'm not really meant to be a singer. And how do I know? And I thought, you know what, forget it, I'm just not going to do it. And then I went and I took a shower, and I was really upset, and I was like, God, I need a sign, God. And then all of a sudden I start hearing this song. I'm like, I thought it was maybe my computer, I had left the iTunes on or something, but I turned off the shower and I can still hear the song loud and clear, and I realized I could hear the whole song in my head, which is really weird, I know. It was a very spiritual experience though. And I went running, I ran to the tape recorder, and I sang the whole thing. I had a whole song in 5 minutes in its dark corner. I heard all the instrumentation, the strings, I heard the tabla, I hear, like, it's weird because I don't think to myself in Punjabi, but I hear the first opening lick in Punjabi, and I don't even know where this is coming from. And ever since then, songs just come to me naturally that way. I'll be doing something completely different, and all of a sudden I'll hear this melody with the words in my head, and I'm like, oh, here it comes again. So I feel like God has blessed me and given me this gift for writing and singing, and it comes through me. I don't know how, but it does. Well, that's how that happened.
Dark Corner is actually my favorite song on the album. So do you have a favorite song?
My favorite song, I think every month it changes. I think I relate to one more than the other.
Okay.
Right now it's Stronger. Just because Stronger is a song that I wrote, because a lot of people when I started, they told me I'll never make it. They're like, oh, don't even waste your time. You're an Indian girl, there's no Indian girls singing Western music, you'll never make it. And then to the Western side, they say, oh, you're an Indian girl and you're too Indian for us, this isn't Western enough for us. And I was really perplexed and really frustrated, and I said, I know I'm meant to do this. And I wrote Stronger, and the chorus is, I'm somebody stronger than the girl you make me out to be. And if you're lucky, one day you'll see that I'm somebody stronger.